Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Joe, powered by Mortgage Message. Today, I'm joined with Lana Howe and Jean Soderstrom of Bags of Hope. Guys, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So I was talking in the beginning of the interview before we started here how excited I am to have you both here because this is an organization that everyone knows about in Plainfield and the surrounding communities. So just to kind of kick us off, Lana, maybe you can start. Just give us an idea, just a little bit about what Bags of Hope is all about.
Well, Bags of Hope is a nonprofit organization. It's a backpack program. We feed kids on a weekly basis. Not just Plainfield District 202, but surrounding schools in Bolingbrook, Romeoville, Crest Hill, Joliet, Lockport. What other? Homer Glen feeds into Lockport as well.
Some of those schools.
We feed anywhere between, right now, 150 to 200 kids a week. When the pandemic hit, our numbers hit way over 500. So yeah, I mean, that's basically what we are about. We make sure that kids, it's been proven that when kids go to school on Monday with no food in their tummies, they can't focus, they can't concentrate, their test grades are lower, their grades are just in general are lower. So when they go to school Monday with full tummies and they have that food for the week, it gets them through and it helps them. They can focus better, they can concentrate, they're in with their classmates, they have snacks during the week like their other classmates do and stuff. So,
well, and there's so much to unpack here, no pun intended. And I want your guys' help in doing that. But before we get into just this amazing organization, I'd like you both to kind of talk about your roles. And maybe Jean, you could start with your role at the organization, and then Lana will come to you.
Sure. I'm very new to Bags of Hope. I joined about probably a year ago and immediately felt welcome into the group. I'm the treasurer, so I've just picked up where the previous treasurer took off. And again, it feels great to be part of the organization, and everybody has been welcoming. And I had been a volunteer with the organization probably the last 5 years or so just stepping into a new role and getting more responsibility.
So exciting. And then Lana, of course, as president, just maybe talk a little bit about your role and what you do.
well, I do what I can do. We hopefully have our forever home now, which is at Plainfield Academy, which is part of District 202. So if you're not familiar with Plainfield Academy, it's the transitional school. So those students, they are from, I believe, middle school all the way to they age out at age 22. So those students are the P-STEP students. So they graduate high school and they're either placed at JJC or they go to Plainfield Academy. And they're autistic or whatever the case may be. And those students, the P-STEP students, the young adults, they are the ones that actually bag the food now on a weekly basis. Wow. So not only are we feeding children, but we're also helping these young adults with life skills that they need to learn. So I go there every week with them and bag the food with them, and it's just amazing. So I get to work with them, which I love. That's one of the roles I do as president. What else do I do?
What don't you do?
Yeah, right. There you go.
If there's grocery shopping that needs to be done, I'll go and do that if I can. Especially with Stephanie. Stephanie is our secretary, who's absolutely amazing. All the board members are amazing. We are like one huge family. It's not like I say. It's not a one-man band. One thing I will say is that founder, yes, and that's one thing that I'll always hold forever in my heart. I know there'll be a time and a place, when it comes where I won't be president anymore, and that's okay. But founder is something that I will hold forever. But president, you go and do whatever you have to do. If there's a fundraiser, I want to be there. If there is like this, okay, I will do it. Nerves put on the side. I will do my best. Just whatever the case may be, I will definitely be there as long as I can be.
Well, it's amazing, and as you said, nerves aside, you guys being here this morning shows the passion and the excitement for this organization and what you guys are really doing to make an impact on our community. And I'm going to come back to the founding piece of this in one moment here, but I want to ask Jean, taking on this role as treasurer, and certainly so many of us involved with this show have roles at other non-for-profit organizations within Plainfield and surrounding areas, so we know not just with the pandemic, but just in general, fundraising is such a huge part of this. Just kind of speak, if you can, in your role as treasurer, kind of what the push has been, what the organizational drive has been to say, hey, we're going to keep going during this moment because these kids need us now more than ever.
Yeah, and I think you and Lana alluded to it earlier that, the pandemic really kicked this off in full speed for us. We saw the community come out of everywhere to be hosting fundraising events to provide us food, monetary funds that they were giving us to help us. As Lana said, we were up to 500 kids that we were trying to help. We had volunteers delivering the food to the door of all of these kids during that whole time period. So getting out in the community across all of these neighborhoods and towns, and I think the kids felt it, the families felt it, the businesses have all basically stepped up and been there for us, and we really could absolutely not do it without them.
It's amazing, and to your point, this is a real pivotal moment because, as you just alluded to as well, is that we not only survived what we just went through, but now it's time for us to thrive, and organizations like this to really have a jump off in this moment, hopefully coming through what we've just been through the last couple of years. And I was sharing with you guys before the interview started about how it's amazing to me from the outside looking in on Bags of Hope, being connected personally through the Plainfield Lions organization, having part of the Not Your Average Joe show, Tom Weiler, who's part of the Kiwanis Club, along with Nicole Domain, being part of Kiwanis, and how Bags of Hope has been integral into pushes for them. Rotary Club, you name it. I could keep going down a laundry list of organizations within Plainfield and surrounding areas that all lift up Bags of Hope. And I said before the interview, I said, man, it's just amazing to me because I don't know of another organization who's been able to do that as well as Bags of Hope. And with that said, I wanted to segue that for you to kind of speak to the audience a little bit about the origin story and the why from a founding perspective of where did this idea come from? Where did this come from?
It was another organization prior to Bags of Hope, but it came down to the wire where in 2015, volunteers were saying to me, like, Lana, we don't ever see that person. Why doesn't that person ever come around? And it kind of they were giving me an ultimatum, like, hey, you do so much already. You're running the show. Why don't it's either you take it over and do your own and start your own, or you don't have any more volunteers. And I was like, you can't do that to me. Like, these kids need food, So I did. I ended up resigning from that prior organization. And during that time, those kids never went hungry. We were working out of garages. We were working out of basements. We were working out of living rooms, you name it, we were working out of it. And the food was all scattered from different homes and stuff like that. But those kids never went hungry. And we officially became our own nonprofit in January of 2016. Amazing. And we became Bags of Hope then.
Amazing. Now, I know that there's a backstory about your father. If you could kind of maybe touch on that.
Sure. So my dad he started working at the age of 5. He had a really rough childhood growing up. His biological father had gone off to war and didn't come back. And so his mom had remarried, and his stepfather was very abusive. They were living above a Chinese restaurant at the time, and my dad is one of 5 siblings. So then my dad's mom had passed away, and my dad, long story short, my dad was a Vietnam veteran, Navy, and he got custody of his other 4 siblings at the age of 18. But when he was working at the Chinese restaurant, delivering the food in his little red wagon for a nickel, a dime, a quarter, whatever it was, he would get the food or the money and he would have to bring it home, and the stepfather would take it and use it for alcohol.
Wow.
And so my dad would, whether he'd get dumpster dive for food or whatever. Well, I don't want to see that here in the surrounding communities. So that's where it hits home. And my dad's name is Robert. So if I can just help one Robert, I know I'm making a difference.
Just amazing.
So, yeah, it is. It's totally amazing. That's where it really hits, pulls at my heartstrings. So it's a great feeling to know that we're doing this and that we are helping kids. I love it. I don't want to ever stop. I just love the feeling to know that it's sad to know that there's people out there. And what bugs me the most is that people think it's in just other countries. It's right here under our noses. People hear Plainfield and they're like, what? How is there hunger in Plainfield? Well, I always say, like, cancer doesn't know communities. It doesn't know age. It doesn't know race. It doesn't know any of that. Neither does hunger. It doesn't know any of that. So it hits anywhere.
Yeah, what an incredible why, and you could tell the passion behind that why. Just amazing, Jean. So many people are watching this; they're getting inspired. They want to get involved through a whole bunch of ways. Knowing our audience right now, hearing this maybe for the first time, or maybe they've been connected to Bags of Hope. Just speaking to that person directly. Let's talk about boots on the ground. They want to join the team. They want to become a volunteer. They want to be a part of this organization, be a part of events, be a part of packing, things like that. Just kind of walk us through what kind of a situation might look like for someone to come alongside this organization and say, hey, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah, I would say that, anybody in the community that hosts, an event, be it for your church or for whatever fun activity you might be putting on for the community, bring a can of food, right? One can of food is going to help, a child. So add that as part of your events, because why not, right? People are willing to bring in two cans of food to help out. I also think, Stephanie manages all of our volunteers. We try and work with all of the schools in the area, especially high school. They need service hours, churches for kids doing confirmation or those types of things. We want all those kids to come out and experience this with us, right? Be there and see how they are benefiting our community, right? So we love to have kids in the community be there for us.
So great.
If you can't get there, we have a way you can donate, right? So there's just different avenues and how much you have the time or the inclination to get out there and give. So
I love it, and there's so many layers to this. We talk about, and you alluded to it a little bit with Plainfield Academy, but we talk about an opportunity to bring graduates through the special education programs that we have and bring them into real life skill sets, as you mentioned, kind of giving back. Just kind of touch on that a little bit further if you can.
So those students at Plainfield Academy, they are in there learning life skills. And then, like I said, they age out at 22. And they can finish the school year. So even if their birthday's like in February, they can still finish out the school year now. But they are learning life skills. So as far as that goes, for them to actually work with me and work with Bags of Hope weekly, and there's 3 different classes. So I go in on like Mondays and on Tuesdays and stuff and work with the students, the young adults, and they bag the food and they'll like restock for the next class, get all the inventory ready for the next class. So they're learning how to not just bag, but they're learning to count and prioritize and like put the new stuff on the table for the next class and stuff like that. And it's amazing for them. And I think they love it. They seem to anyway, anytime I go in.
Yeah.
Unless they're just acting for me, but I think they're doing a pretty good job.
Either way, we'll take it.
Either way, we'll take it. But they're great, and I absolutely adore them. I love working with them. Their personalities are just amazing. They're a great group of young adults, and I love them. They're great.
Yeah, so good. When we look at the future of this organization, because as you mentioned, and I know it pulls on the heartstrings of everyone listening right now, no child should be going hungry. especially in our own community, let alone anywhere. And I have a vision for Bags of Hope, but I would love to hear what your guys' vision is for Bags of Hope. What do you see the next year, 3, 5 years looking like, and where you want to go with this?
Well, one of my visions actually came true. My one vision was to be able to give out a scholarship, or I should say scholarships. And so we were able to do that. This is our second year that we were able to do that. And the scholarships go to, there's a procedure. The kids have to fill out an application and everything. We don't know who the students are. Stephanie's the only one that knows. And then she gives us the applications and we read them separately and we make our decision and give them back to her and stuff. So anyway, it's for students that are on the program, high school students that are on the program. And not ones that, they may have volunteered for us, we don't know. We try to keep it as confidential as possible. So it's a $500 scholarship. Maybe in the long run we can up it. If anyone wants to donate to the scholarship fund, they can. But it's $500 for now, and which is great. I think it's amazing. It's one, like I said, it was one of my dreams to be able to do that for these kids. So whether they're going to vocational school or college, whatever, they're getting, a $500 scholarship. So that was one of my dreams, and it came true. So for the future, I'm either hoping to just never move again.
Right.
I hope that Plainfield Academy is our forever home. And I just want to keep on keeping on with Bags of Hope. I want to keep on helping feed these kids. I would like to keep on helping the Peace Step program learn life skills. We do a Thanksgiving and Christmas box every year. I would love to still continue to just do what we're doing. I think that it's great. I didn't realize how much we've made an impact on the community until, talking with you and things like that. I just feel like we are like the mom and pop food backpack program.
Well, what I'll share back to that, Lana, is it's that humbleness that makes you guys so amazing. It's the humbleness of not seeing yourself anything other than we're just here to serve. And I think that's why people are attracted to what you guys do. Yeah, absolutely. Jean, anything to add to that as far as a vision for the future? I don't want to leave you out on that.
No, it's so great to see so many people coming out to help and to step in where they can. And we just really appreciate that. It just, seeing it from your eyes or hearing it from your eyes, or, recently we had a magazine article saying, like, you're just like, wow. It is, humbling to see how much of an impact other people see.
So great. So great. Well, I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt, you guys are real community heroes in this community of Plainfield and surrounding areas. And we just so appreciate you guys being in this community and doing what you're doing so selflessly. It's just amazing. And like you said, the impact, none of us here may ever really see the impact of what future generations mean because of what you're doing today, but we can only imagine. It's so exciting. So with that said, and Jean, I'm going to start with you and then close with Lana. I have to ask you guys the question, who is your hero?
Oh, wow. I have a family member. She's my aunt, and I also had kind of a troubled youth, and every time I feel like I fell off the track, she was always pulling me along. And unfortunately, we had, as we've grown older, a little bit of reversal. She's kind of fallen off the track. And, I was like, oh, well, I can help you. You've helped me with so much. So I just feel like I absolutely would not be here if it weren't for her. And she continues to inspire me as she deals with her own, adult struggles. So I feel like family and friends are really the crux of getting you through the day-to-day, and that is just strengthening for me.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Lana, who is your hero?
Oh my goodness. So without a shadow of a doubt, my dad. He started working at age 5 and just retired at 75. So yeah, my dad for sure. Yeah. And my mom, for sure too. But my dad, without a doubt.
That's so great, so great. We are so thankful for you guys, and I just, everyone who's watching, who I know is ready to jump on board the Bags of Hope train here, please, in this digital age that we live in, how can they connect with you online, or whether through social media or otherwise? What's some places they can go?
So we have a phone number. It's 815-293-7405, and that will actually connect right to me. If for some reason I don't answer, they can definitely leave a message. We'll get back to them. Our website is www.boh2016.org.
And so many like me follow along. I know you guys have a pretty cool Facebook presence. You guys get tagged in every event that you're in. So please, I hope the audience goes checks you guys out on Facebook as well. Absolutely. Thank you to you both for being here this morning. And we cannot wait to see these visions that we talked about be played out.
Well, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure. And thank you to our audience for tuning in to another episode of Not Your Average Joe. We'll see you next week, everyone. Take care.